Hello! Welcome to the Sweet Sparrow Knits podcast. My name is Julie, and you can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as Sweet Sparrow Knits, and you can find my hand-dyed yarn and project bags at sweetsparrowyarns.etsy.com. And I have a special guest.
Hello, my name is Jaclyn. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as at Jaclyn Salem, and I'm the host of the Brooklyn Knitfolk podcast channel.
And we wanted to record together today just to answer the often asked question, how we met, and to talk about our friendship a little bit, and also to do a fun little question and answer, newlywed game style little game.
Yep.
Yep.
We're newlyweds, you know?
Mm-hmm. I'd marry you.
In a heartbeat, obviously. I feel like we definitely know each other well enough that we could be, like, married at this point.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Hey, Jafar. I'm over at Jaclyn's house right now, and her kitties are here, and they're so sweet.
Being cute and adorable. Yeah, I have two kitties, Mika and Jafar, and both of them are, well, now Mika is starting to like Julie, so it's really great. Finally.
It's been a long time coming.
As you'll hear later on, we've been friends for over 3 years now, so it's kind of a miracle that this is like even happening to begin with. I thought this day would never come.
Me too. Me too.
Oh,
Jafar.
this is Jafar.
Look at this good boy.
He's a big old sweetie.
He is. He's such a love. Look at those big paws. Thrilled about the situation.
He loves it. He's laying.
He's such a love.
Yes.
All right. Well, I hope you enjoy the episode, and I will see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
And so this is not like a typical Brooklyn Knitfolk episode if you're looking for that. And if this is your first time, you can just go back and watch previous episodes. But for those of you who know me or Julie, you know we probably talk about each other nonstop because
it's true.
Because I'm like a Sweet Sparrow fangirl, and also because she's my best friend. So.
Oh gosh, thank you.
I love this girl. So, projects. Only going to talk about a couple because I honestly have not been working on a whole lot in the past few weeks since I last posted an episode, so I'm probably only going to show like 2 socks today. And you brought a new project.
I brought a new project that I just cast on.
Yay! Okay, so I guess since I have 2, I'll go ahead and show the first one. They are socks for mom, which the first one is done. I don't know if I showed this last time as being a finished sock, but, well, it's like mostly done. There's just the Kitchener stitch left to do. I don't know why I'm dragging my feet on that. But this is hedgehog fibers in the hurricane colorway, and it's the socks on a plain pattern. It's very fun to knit.
So pretty.
I hope it fits. I'm just kind of concerned about that. But
yeah,
as we've been talking, I don't know, my gauge seems to be changing again. I thought I was supposed to be knitting on zeros. I like the fabric of this, but this is also very lightweight yarn.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice and squishy, but not too stiff.
Right. So we'll see. But I think that I might be trying to switch back to ones again soon, as I will show you in my Clarke socks that I've been knitting. But yes, I cast the second one on and knit on this intermittently. So no second sock syndrome. Those are for my mom for Mother's Day, which already happened, but I'm not seeing her until July, so they'll be done before then for sure.
I like your garter stitch heel here.
Thank you.
Looks really comfy.
I don't like it. Well, I don't like knitting it.
Oh, okay.
I guess, which is why I switched halfway through to a, I'll show that real quick. I showed it last time, but it's half garter stitch and half stockinette because I couldn't stand knitting it. I thought it would be fun to knit it, or like easier, especially if it's just all knit stitches, but digging into knit stitches on a gauge as tight as socks is with like already sort of splitty yarn.
Yeah.
Hedgehog fibers, actually you already said this with your Clarke socks.
Yeah, that's why I ripped out a pair of Clarke socks that I had started and gotten through a few repeats on because I just could not deal with how splitty the yarn was, particularly with the type of needles I was using, which I don't want to say because I don't want to spoil one of our questions later.
But yeah, it's kind of, I don't know if you're going to be able to see that there. I'm just like holding that up. No, it's not focusing very well, but it is like sort of loosely plied and thin yarn as it is, so. But I do like their colors though. They're not super consistent either. I will say they're like this within the same color, but that's okay. That doesn't bother me.
Yeah, I feel like they have a new base out that's like less splitty too, that's fingering weight. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, I haven't seen that, but yeah, for sure. But that's my socks on a plain sock. Started the second one. It's going all right. Socks, you know. Okay, now show yours. Yours is really exciting.
Oh, thank you. So I have started a What the Fade shawl.
Yay!
This is the What the Fade pattern by Andrea Mowry, and I'm really, really excited about it. This took a lot of tries to get to this point. I just was not, I don't know, it wasn't clicking in my brain, the brioche, for some reason. This is my first time doing brioche, and I brought it over to Jaclyn's, and she kind of walked me through the parts that I was getting stuck on. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So this is entirely progress from last night and a little bit this morning.
It's so beautiful.
Thank you. So the first two colors are, and I'm knitting this entirely in my yarn because it is going to be, well, it's going to be a sample, but it's also going to be something I wear. So the first two colors are Pajama Day.
One of my favorites.
Oh, thank you. And Flora. And then the other colors going in it will be Wrapped Up in Books.
That seems to be a recent favorite, I feel, in your... I pay attention to this stuff all the time, but a lot of people are knitting with that colorway right now.
Yeah, I really love it. I'm super happy with it. I wanted to have something that was neutral, but also had a variety of colors so that you can match it with various solids or mohairs. I love that. Thank you. And
that with pink mohair would be amazing.
Yes, that's definitely on my agenda. And then Dusty Rose.
Love that.
Thank you.
OG colorways.
Lumina, which is one of my newest ones. And Alma.
So pretty.
Which is from my Deadwood collection.
Love it.
Thank you. I'm really excited to knit it.
Grab 3 and give me 3, and then we can show the progression of the fade. All right. So pretty.
Oh, which way are we going?
It's gonna be, I don't know. So like garden-esque flowers, you know.
That's definitely what I was going for.
Super soft.
I'm very influenced by Cicely Mary Barker's Flower Fairy illustrations, so anytime that I can work a sort of Flower Fairy palette into my work, I'm always happy to do that.
This pattern, I am so, like, I already knit one in case you didn't know, and I loved the What the Fade pattern. It's so soft and the shape is really good, and it's huge though, and it uses almost all of the yarn that the skeins, or that the pattern calls for. It uses tons.
I'm really excited about that. I feel like I have some longer shawls, like my Find Your Fade, which I love and I wear constantly, but I'm excited to have one that's like a blanket.
Yeah, it is the schlanket.
The schlanket, yes.
Yes, yeah, it's really good. Oh, I love it. And you're liking knitting it?
I am. It took me a little bit to get into the groove, as you know, and as you heard the abundance of profanity when I was attempting to start this. But
how many times did you start it?
Probably 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And one time I had gotten pretty far, but I just made a mistake and couldn't fix it, and it just kept getting worse.
Yep. The videos, I thought, personally, for me, when I knit it, were really helpful that she includes in her pattern. So.
Unfortunately, for them to be helpful, you have to watch them, and I was being impatient.
Imagine that! Okay, the last project that we're going to show before we do like Q&A stuff and fun things is my Clarke socks. In case you didn't know, there's a Clarke socks party going on right now, which just means that I started a cal because I really wanted to knit a pair of Clarke socks for myself. The sample that I had I gave to my mom, and the Clarke socks are my own pattern in case you didn't know, and I really wanted to knit a pair for myself. So I am, and I'm finished with the first one. This is Knox Yarn Co. in the Memento Mori colorway. And I love how it turned out.
It's so pretty.
I know. Oh, I love love, love Knox Yarn Co. yarn. It's so pretty. So yeah, it's like a lavender purple that has like brown and darker gray, and then like also lighter purples in it. In the skein, it almost looks like hot pink in some places. I don't know if it's going to show up wherever I happen to show the skein of yarn, but yeah, and it's BFL sock yarn, which, as I'm discovering, may or may not be as stretchy as merino socks. It's just, I put it on my foot last night and it was so tight. Like, it'll stretch out as I wear it. I can get it on my foot, but it's just like really, really tight. And I'm wondering if that's a difference between merino sock yarn and BFL sock yarn, because this one's BFL. But BFL is so hard wearing, but it's the first time I've ever knit socks out of BFL yarn. I've only knit them in merino blends of yarn. I've knit a sweater in BFL before, but yeah, not sure. So just something to think about. This is 64 stitches. That's unfortunately the only size this sock comes in at the moment on a size 0 needle. I like how the gauge looks though.
Yeah, it looks really, really nice. I love the stitch definition too.
Love this. Yep, so I haven't cast on the second one because I literally just finished this at breakfast this morning at the diner that we went to. So Clarke socks, pattern available on Ravelry, and if you want to join in the Cal, you have plenty of time. It goes through July 8th, which is my nephew's birthday, so yeah.
I'll be joining the Cal.
Yes. Alright, that's all of our projects that we're going to show. Literally all I've even worked on in the past 2 weeks. I have not been knitting much because one of my friends was visiting me lately, and so now we're just going to do fun stuff. Okay, so should we tell the story of how we met first, or should we do like question answer stuff? Okay, so we have it from different perspectives because the way that she remembers meeting me and the way I remember meeting her is two totally different times. So you start first because chronologically you technically met me first.
Yes.
I mean, we met each other at the same time, but the way we remember it, yours is first for sure.
So I went to a meetup after Vogue Knitting Live. Thank you.
Tears in your eyes. Okay, got it.
And you may not know this, but I am a very shy person. I'm not quite as shy as I used to be, but it was like a big deal for me to go to that meetup because...
This was not previous Vogue Knitting Live, by the way.
Oh,
it was
right.
When... Not even the one before... Was it the one... No, because that was
when
one.
Katie was there.
Yeah, so 3 years ago.
Oh my gosh. So I went to the meetup and I was really nervous to talk to anybody, but I went and we met like very briefly, I think. But then I kind of skedaddled out pretty fast.
Okay. See, this is probably why I don't necessarily remember it, because I was very new to the knitting world even at that point. But yeah, so I'm very new to the knitting world, like as in that past fall. So I even felt strange even going to these events in the first place. I think had I started a podcast at that point or no?
I kind of don't think so, because I feel like I would have been like, oh, that's Jaclyn from Brooklyn Knitfolk.
Or maybe, no, actually I started it in a November. So it would make sense if it was in January that like absolutely no one would have seen this podcast before except for like my super close friends who are going to support me no matter what. So yeah, it was too new to like for anybody to know me because I started it in that November, and then Vogue Knitting Live is like in January.
That was the first time I met Mina too.
I think I was,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think I was too chicken to say more than like, hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Actually, no, I met her at Kristen's Trunk Show, which was that year. That's when I first met her. But I had no idea who Mina even was. Like, that's how, if you don't know who Mina is, you're living under a rock. She's the Knitting Expat, Knitting Expat podcast and Knitting Expat Designs. She's wonderful. But at that time, I went to a trunk show of Kristen's, who was Woolenbein Yarns, sometime in like early fall. And I had never met either of them before or knew who they were. I just was like getting into knitting. But anyway, so that's unrelated. So yes. So that's how you first remember meeting me. But I don't remember it. I don't remember that at all, actually.
I was there for probably 10 minutes.
Okay.
So.
And then the way I remember meeting her, so once the Brooklyn crew started kind of amassing more of like a regular hangout type of situation, we would put in like calls for like, oh, we're going to this local yarn store today, come hang out and meet with us and knit. And so usually like the regular people would, I know for sure, be you obviously would go, and then me, Jenny, Tiny Paper Foxes, and Kristen, and Devin, of course, and Kristen, who is Yarngasm. And there was a meetup that we had at Gauge Intention, R.I.P., best knitting store, like one of my favorite ones. It was in Greenpoint, Brooklyn, and Michelle Wong owned it, and it was my favorite. The stuff she had there was amazing.
It was really beautiful.
But the first time I remember meeting Julie was when she went to the meetup, because I don't know if I'd gone to many of them before. This was early stages of setting up these sorts of hangouts anyway. And I remember you bought, like, I remember the things that you were planning on buying you had in front of you, and it was wool, and it was, the colors were black bear. What's the pinkish one?
White birch, maybe?
Maybe.
Something like that.
There were like 3 different colors because you used them in your Lily Pilly.
My Lily Pilly.
Yes. But I remember looking at those colors and being like, oh my gosh, I love what you were buying. I would buy this exact thing, and just like being so infatuated. Like the way she was dressed, it was just very Julie. If you've ever watched her podcast or know anything about her yarns and her aesthetic, it's all like very consistent. Like even what you're wearing right now, like this soft color and this like rosy tank top and stuff. It's exactly, hi kitty. Hi, this is Mika. In case you don't know, she makes semi-regular podcast appearances, and her and Julie are starting to be friends.
We're starting.
She's very temperamental. Yeah, see? Exhibit A. More like exhibit, like, triple Z. Yeah, that's what. But anyway, so I just remember loving the yarns that you picked out, and from there we just like befriended each other on Instagram, and then found out that we worked like maybe 10 to 15 blocks-ish away from each other, and we started hanging out after work at a coffee shop called Birch, which is what one of my patterns is named after because of our friendship. And we would just like get together at coffee shops after work like once a week and talk about boys and you know, right, you know, all the usual stuff and gossip. And this was before you had started your shop, but I remember the first time we hung out, you had just purchased like a bulk order of bear yarn and fabric or something like that, or you were like dyeing on your own. Yeah,
I had just started dyeing, just sort of experimentally because I thought it looked like fun. I remember we first got together because you had posted on your Instagram the view from your window at work, and I thought that really looks a lot like the view from my window at work. This was when I was still working in the city, and I remember like working up the nerve to direct message you and be like, oh, where are you?
The concept that anybody would ever be nervous to meet me, because I'm such a dork. It just like is hilarious to me. But anyway, yeah, so then we met up. And the rest is history, as they say.
Yep. I feel like we clicked like immediately.
Yes, for sure. Like we were hanging out at Birch so much, and then just like doing our own thing. And every time we would go to like meetups together, and then like you would come back to my apartment after the meetup, and we'd watch like Sex in the City for, you know, hours. Yeah, like we did last night.
Yes.
So
yes, we marathoned it for like 6 hours.
Yes, we did. We watched 6 hours of Sex and the City and just knit all day and hung out and chatted, and it was perfect.
It was so great.
Yeah. So that's like the story of our friendship for everyone who's been asking us, because it's a question that we get pretty regularly.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So glad we met. So glad we're friends.
Me too. Yeah, I just feel so lucky though, really. It's like most people I feel don't meet their best friends like this late in life, and I just feel really lucky that we know each other.
Too.
Yeah.
Yay.
Okay, so mushy gushy part's over. Now we're gonna do a question answer thing. So Julie and I have written a bunch of questions and stolen them from other people's templates of this or that type of stuff, and we're gonna guess what the other would say. So we each have like a little notebook and a pen, and we're gonna write down what we think the other person, or the questions for the other person, and see how right they are.
It's like the newlywed game.
Exactly. Yes, like the newlywed game. Okay. All right, you want to ask the questions?
Sure. Do you want to alternate asking questions?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
All right. What is the other's go-to project?
Go-to project. As in right now, or like in general?
I think in general.
Okay. Man, I feel like that's changed for you recently.
Yeah, it has.
Okay, we'll go with your current projects right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Ready?
Yes.
All right, what do you say about me?
Socks.
Yes, and I said sweaters for you.
Yes. Correct.
Socks are just so portable because I can take them with me everywhere, and it's like built-in knitting time because of the subway.
Mm-hmm. And I'm just in like a really sweatery
mode.
Place right now.
Mm-hmm. Yes. All right. Question number 2. What is the other's least favorite and most favorite color to knit with?
I don't know if this counts as a color.
It's okay.
Okay.
Because I did something similar.
Okay, good.
Okay. Most favorite. Oh, I'm
sorry. Okay.
Most favorite. Blush.
Yes.
Obviously.
Correct.
And yours, what'd you say most for me?
Oh, neutrals / blush.
True. 100%. Least favorite. This was so easy. Anything neon.
Yes. I don't like it. Not my jam.
No.
And for least, I said brown.
True.
For you.
Yeah. I'm not a brown person unless it's like gray airing on brown. But that's it. Yeah. Not a brown person.
Number 3. What is the other's favorite yarn weight to knit with?
Okay, ready?
Yes.
All right, for you I said fingering, but I wasn't positive about that.
That is true.
Excellent.
I also said fingering for you.
Yes. What's a like second favorite? Or a base?
My favorite base is, oh God, I like them all.
I know. That's hard as a dyer to pick, I'm sure.
It is. I'm really into my hummingbird base right now because it's 50% silk and 50% non-superwash merino, and it just feels really good to knit with. And I knit my tag knit out of that, and it feels so good on. But at the same time, I also like a classic woolly wool.
Yeah. Yeah.
How about you?
Bases, I've never knit with it before. Well, Cormo, obviously.
Yeah.
That's like a #1 favorite. But I've never knit with it before, but I love the way that yak takes dye.
Yeah.
It's like makes it settles the whole thing out. Even though it kind of makes it a little bit brownish actually, but I still really like it.
Yeah, it's rich and warm.
What is the other's favorite type of knitting needle? This is easy. All right, what'd you say?
Metal?
Oh, yes.
Hiya.
Yes.
Yay!
For you, I said carbons.
Yep.
Yeah.
Totally
Easily.
true.
Easy. Do you have a second favorite?
Yes, wooden needles just in general, particularly the, here we go. Luca?
Lika? I don't know, honestly. Yeah.
Likey
needles? That's gonna look really attractive when I edit this, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, I thought the same thing. I felt my face doing something and it was too late. I had no control.
Yep, it had to happen.
Favorite overall knitting designer?
Man, this one's hard. I have to admit straight up, I'm not exactly sure what yours is gonna be.
I have a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like there are 2 options for you.
I do have 2 options in my head for myself as well, so maybe you're right. Honestly, I don't know. Like every single pattern that you show me is always a different designer.
Yeah.
You're not consistent with your designers with me.
I'm pretty consistent in the styles that I like, but not in designers.
Like I can look at something and know like, oh, that's definitely something Julie would wear. But it's never like a same designer.
Yeah.
So that one I'm going question mark.
Okay.
What's your answer?
For you or for me?
For you.
I have a couple. Right now I really love everything that Jennifer Steingass does.
I don't know her.
Oh, she does like beautiful, delicate colorwork yoke sweaters, which I really would like to knit. But then I also love vanilla wool.
Okay. Yeah, she has really beautiful pictures on her Instagram. They're always very like delicate lace patterns, but with like the stockinette breaking up a lot of it too. For
sure. Yeah, and she photographs them so beautifully. So for you, I put Michelle Wong.
Yes, for sure.
Yay!
For sure.
I was between that and Jared Flood.
Oh, I do love Jared Flood patterns, but that actually was not the second one I had in my head.
Was it Stephen West?
No.
Was it?
But I do love Stephen West patterns too.
I don't know who your other one would be. Who was it?
Mandarines, Melody.
Of course! Yeah. Of course! Oh, she's one of my favorites too.
Yeah, I think I could do a year of mandarines and just knit nothing, and Michelle Wong, both of them. And Jared Flood. I love all 3 of them actually, so they're all true. But I've thought about doing just like a year of mandarines patterns, just knitting nothing but hers, and I'd probably never get bored.
I would do that with you.
Yeah, I know. Hey. Ideas. Future. Most worn finished object.
I'm totally cheating. I put down 2. One's a garment and one's an accessory. Does that count?
Yeah. Go for it. Okay, what do you say?
Your BFL marled cardigan.
Love it.
Or your exploration station.
Both true. Both 100% true. Yes. And my What the Fade is my work shawl.
Oh, yeah.
So it's at my desk. I wear it every day because it's at my desk. For you, I said, I'm writing answers on multiple pieces of paper. Your Find Your Fade.
Yes.
You wear that one probably more often than I see you in anything else. But I
Yeah.
wouldn't necessarily know if it's like your favorite one, but you wear it a lot.
It's definitely the thing that I wear the most. I took that to Dublin with me last time, and I'll probably take it again this time.
Yep. Yeah, she's going. Did you already say that on your own podcast?
No. Tell them. I am going back to Dublin with my mom in October.
That's so exciting.
And I'm so excited. It's going to be so great.
And she's going like right before Rhinebeck, so she's going to Ireland and then gets to come home and then go to Rhinebeck like the following weekend. Like, tell me that's not the best October you've ever
It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, amazing.
Favorite indie dyer to purchase from? Oh, nope. I was writing my own.
Oh, me too.
Whoops.
Oh, that's funny. Because I'm like so confident in like how much I love this. Okay.
I feel like there are a couple for you.
I don't know why this is so amusing to me. Just like...
I don't know. The one that I'm thinking of is now defunct. So I don't know if that counts.
What, like Juicy Rising?
Yep.
Well, yes, I love her
Precisely.
too. But that's not what I have in my head because you can't purchase it, so I'm not going to answer that. But I did love her yarn. Loved it. Say it! Say it!
I'm like looking around your apartment.
Yeah, really, that's all you have to do, honestly. This is the worst question because I know she won't ever say it.
Oh. Well, then I.
Now you know.
Oh, gosh. Okay, then I'll. Okay.
I mean, it's obvious. It's obvious. I talk about you in every single podcast.
Oh, thank you. I didn't want to be a jerk and be like, him.
No, obviously, if you can't guess from that, then it's Sweet Sparrow yarns. I like the biggest fan. I started writing down Sweet Sparrow yarns because I was like, that's my favorite. Moi.
Moi. Thank you.
I definitely have knit more things out of your yarn than anybody else's for sure.
You.
It's just like so easy for me to like go to grab it. Like it's not that other things don't compete for my attention with it, but in the end it's just like your aesthetic is what I end up wanting to knit with.
Oh gosh.
Yes.
Well, thank you.
And for you though, I said stress knits.
Oh, you're totally right. My stress knits collection, like that in itself tells you something. The fact that I think of it as its own collection.
That's true.
And not just part of my stash. Yes, I love stress knits and I'm so excited that Stacy is dyeing again because I want everything she makes.
Yeah. You guys do have like similar but different aesthetics. Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, I love her yarn, obviously. Yeah. My whole What the Fade was all Sweet Sparrow yarns and stress knits yarns and one skein of primrose in there. But yeah, it was perfect.
Yay.
Yay. Oh, favorite beverage to drink while knitting? Tea, but I don't know like a specific kind. You have a lot of flavors, but I don't know what your favorite tea is really.
Generally it is the berry cream black tea from McNulty's.
Berry cream black tea. Interesting.
Yep, it is delicious, but depends on the mood.
Yes.
And I put iced coffee with milk.
True. Fave. This is easy.
I know it. I don't feel like we've gotten any wrong.
Yeah.
Lace or cables? I'm being ridiculous.
Obviously lace for you.
Yep, cables for you?
Yes.
I drew a funky
I love your
cable.
little cable, yeah. Yep.
100%.
Yep.
I do love some lace.
And I pretty much don't ever pick projects that don't have cables in them, honestly. I can't remember the last time. I guess the What the Fade was the last one I knit that didn't have cables in it. So the rest of these questions are either or, so we're just going to answer what we would say. Variegated or semi-solid?
Semi-solid.
I think I would pick that too. Variegated is just not my jam, really.
I like it, but...
I mean, I guess the sock I'm knitting is variegated.
Yeah. I feel like semi-solid or semi-solid with speckles is what I go to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, agree. Semi-solid for me too. Magic loop or DPNs?
Magic loop. I don't like DPNs.
I'm the same. Much more of a magic looper. That's recent though. I mean, for socks, I like 9-inch circulars, as you guys know. But if I have like sleeves, for example, although a lot of times I buy like 9-inch circulars or for sleeves too.
Yeah.
But if I only have
12-inch.
Yeah. If I only have one or the other though, magic loop all the way.
Yeah. I never got comfortable with DPNs.
I don't mind them, but if I do buy them, I have to get wooden ones because I knit too loosely, they'll just fall out if they're metal.
Yeah.
So the wooden ones are grabby and will hold on to it. But I just don't really prefer it. It feels slow.
Yeah.
Garter or stockinette?
Garter.
Same, actually. And I know that, like, especially, like, once you kind of get past learning how to knit garter stitch, people start thinking it looks, like, childish or whatnot. But
yeah.
I really like
love it. I think it's so, like, comforting and squishy, and I love knitting it because it's just very relaxing to knit.
With my nun-spun yarn that I just bought, I've been thinking about knitting a garter stitch cardigan.
Oh, that would look so pretty. That would look so pretty.
Knitting from a cake or from a ball?
Cake. Sub-question. Well, first, you answer.
I think I like balls better. I'm really mature. Sorry. Yes, but I do think knitting from a hand-wound ball is really magical, especially one that my mom knit or winds for me.
Aw, yeah. So, sub-question. I already know the answer, but our feelings on this are very different. Oh, hi, Jafar.
Hi, sweetie.
When you are knitting from a cake. Pull from the outside or pull from the center?
Outside, all the time.
Center!
No.
I regret it constantly, and yet I still do it. So.
Yeah, and when I regretted it in the beginning, that's when I stopped doing it. Yarn bark, I have no patience for it. I will throw the yarn ball away before I sit there and unpick all of it. Most of the time I just save them for my mom because my mom's one of those freaks who loves unknotting yarn. She gets like calm, she's calm from it, but I just can't stand it. So I would just throw it away. Or cut it and then move on.
I don't mind untangling it. For me, it's worth it to not have the, maybe it's because I'm such a tight knitter that it's worth it to me not to have any tension coming out of winding it. I feel like there's a lot less resistance pulling it from the center.
Maybe actually that's why I don't like it, because I feel like whenever I wind my balls or my cakes, they always end up really tight in the center. So I'm constantly having to like yank it harder, and therefore it gets more tangled when I pull it out.
That's true.
But we do have very differing opinions on that one. I don't center pull from yarn balls at all. Or yarn cakes, I mean. Top down or bottom up sweaters?
Top down.
Same. Obviously, because you can try them on.
Yep.
Although, the next question, one piece or seamed sweaters?
One piece.
I prefer seamed sweaters. So the top down or bottom up isn't necessarily relevant to that. I like if you can try it on, but I feel like seamed sweaters have more integrity than one piece sweaters do. Although I do see obviously the advantages to it.
They definitely have more structure, which is actually part of why I prefer not seamed, because I have broad shoulders to start with, and I feel like when I seam a sweater across the shoulders, it tends to like emphasize that, which isn't really what I'm going for, and I feel like one piece top down sweaters kind of smooth it out a little bit and soften that line.
Flowier maybe too, like the less, so and I tend to like boxier shaped items anyway, so the seam really works for me in that. That's all the questions that we have.
Yay, that was fun.
I know, it was So I hope that you guys enjoyed like getting to know more about our friendship and about us. Like I said, if this is not a typical episode at all, so if you didn't like it, I don't really care. No, I'm just kidding. I really do care what you guys think, I promise. But yeah, this is just not a typical episode, and people keep asking us all the time to like tell the story about how you guys met, and so we thought it would be more fun to film it together. Yeah, and it was just an opportune time, and yeah, so that's all. Yay! So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye! Bye!